guys. I knew I was going to have to make this video. I just had no idea it was going to be this quickly. It's a bummer. It's kind of insane to say out loud. As of right now, Hi-Tech Pharmaceuticals' biggest prohormones, that's Superdrol, 1-testosterone, 1-AD, Equibolin, and Androdiol, are officially banned. A federal court just ruled that the CEO of Hi-Tech, Jared Wheat, has been prohibited from manufacturing or distributing these 5 products. But here's the thing. This isn't just some random government crackdown. The FDA has had Hi-Tech and these 5 prohormone products in their crosshairs for many years. And if you think for a second that this is going to be all about safety concerns and mislabeled products, you either trust the FDA a whole lot more than I do, or you're just unaware that Hi-Tech has been waging war against the FDA and DOJ in the courts for many years now. A company that has dodged regulators for years, bobbed and weaved many decades. An 18-count federal indictment with charges including money laundering, conspiracy, and many others. And a arguably genius, which you can make that distinction here by the end, mastermind, who always just seems to be one step ahead. My name is Travis Dillard. Some people call me the Prohormone Professor because I've tested, I've researched, and I've exposed more about this company, this industry, and prohormones just in general over YouTube and anybody, anywhere, period. Guys, this story is so much bigger than just these 5 products. It's really crazy, so strap in. Welcome, my brother, to the Wild West that is the ever-changing world of prohormones. What ultimately led to this ban? Why is the government even going after Hi-Tech specifically and to begin with? And most importantly, what does this mean for the future of prohormones? Are we going to lose them in the long run? Because in 2026, everything's going to change. And I mean everything. Jared, please don't sue me. My brothers, I tip my hat to you because Southern courtesy. Southern courtesy. Let's get it.
You are now in the presence of a... king.
So why did these prohormones even get banned to begin with? What's the story here? Now, in order to truly understand why prohormones even got banned to begin with, we've got to go back to 2004. When Hi-Tech Pharmaceuticals at the time, I kid you not, was making $20 million in sales every month off of 4 weight loss supplements. Crazy. One of them being the popular one, Lipodrine, which contained a compound that, was controversial for many years to come. It's called ephedra, or ephedrine, which is found in a plant known as Ephedra sinica. So it's a pretty powerful central nervous system stimulator. It's not as powerful as Adderall, but comparatively speaking, it'd probably be about 1/4 as strong. And this baby stimulant, this ephedra, would ultimately become the bane of existence, the Achilles heel of Hi-Tech Pharmaceuticals for many years to come, starting right now, actually. Because just a few months later, in February of 2004, the FDA would issue the final rule declaring dietary supplements containing ephedrine alkaloids adulterated because they present an unreasonable risk. So now with ephedra out in 2004, it's over with. It's banned. We're no longer putting in products. Hi-Tech's thinking, well, how do we get creative? Well, they'd make a play that they would do many, many times for many years to come. A play that would work. They would just replace ephedra with a new ingredient. What this ingredient is? Well, first of all, I just want to mention it's not even really replaced. It's more just doubling down. It's actually a stronger, more powerful stimulant that's faster acting, that's still in this stimulant-like compound category, or the amphetamine-like compounds. It's called DMAA. And they just would take ephedra, toss it out, replace it with DMAA, and do this for 6 years until 2012 when the FDA and DOJ were like, wait a second here. And honestly, we don't even know if they reached out to Hi-Tech. We don't know if they knew that Hi-Tech was putting this in their Lipodrine, but it was clearly a problem in the industry because in 2012, they would issue warning letters to companies notifying them that marketing DMAA containing products violates the law. Except they didn't actually reach out to Hi-Tech specifically. They would do a more passive-aggressive approach, and they would actually forget Hi-Tech altogether. Now, yes, it's unclear whether the FDA actually knew that DMAA was inside of Hi-Tech Pharmaceuticals products, but wasn't it just 6 years prior that the FDA's crosshairs were just smack dab on them? How'd you let them go. It seems suspicious. The fact that you wouldn't send over a letter, I don't know why I'm talking like I'm talking to them right now. It seems weird. This is a dangerous company giving civilians dangerous products, yet you just forgot to send them? You got everybody else. What happened to this one? Not that Hi-Tech would have even probably listened, nor would they have time to, because, well, in 2013, Hi-Tech would be like, here you go, here's a silver platter. I'm going to go ahead and write out the indictment, just hand it over to the government. The FTC would step in 2013 and be like, well, this one's pretty obvious. False advertising at the highest levels. Lose up to 42% of your total body fat. Increase your metabolic rate by up to 50%. Weight loss of 5, 10, 125 pounds. Dang. The court found these claims to be false, obviously. While the court found it's undisputed that Hi-Tech backed away from their previous concrete claims on lipodrine, they're still advertising the product with more puffing. Before Hi-Tech could pick themselves up and figure out what the heck was going on, just a month after, the government had sent that recall message for those 4 supplements, the weight loss supplements, lipodrine being one of them. In 2014, the FTC had had enough, slapping Hi-Tech with a bill totaling to about $40 million for compensatory sanctions, one of the largest amounts ever against a supplement manufacturer, and equates just to 2 years of sales for Hi-Tech Pharmaceuticals for just these 4 products from October 2010 to December 2012, which is just friggin' wild to me. Also found in this exact same order, even though it's not stated explicitly like this, it's more paraphrased, but Jared, he waited too long to comply. So they lock him up in a federal prison for 2 months for, lo and behold, failing to comply with a court-ordered recall. But of course, no doubt, Jared's going to fight this, taking it to the 11th Circuit of Appeals in 2015, where a judge would actually vacate the $40 million sanction. Kind of a boss move there, Jared. It's too bad this won't stick. So it took a little bit of a fall there with that 2-month jail sentence. That's okay. But all things considered, I'd say you pretty much got out of that one. But not really. Because in 2017, their past would continue to follow them. The court would reimpose that same $40 million false advertising sanction. And this one especially hurt. Because just a year prior to this judgment, in 2016, the DOJ would take their turn. They would get their punches in. And they would make 5 purchases, undercover purchases, of 5 different Prohormone products. The same ones we're talking about today, they're now banned. Remember, this is the end of 2016. And testing revealed that 1-AD, 1-testosterone, Androdiol, Equibolin, and Superdrol contained Schedule III anabolic steroids. And to be clear, they didn't actually contain real anabolic steroids, these products. The term anabolic steroids, according to the law as stated by Cornell's Law website, includes 4-androstenediol, for instance. It could still be seen the same in the courts. So technically, these are already, for certain in the gray area, potentially already even illegal. Fun fact, if the government came in today and said they want to remove every single Prohormone product that's tied to that legal definition by Cornell law of anabolic steroids, well, there will only be 3 Prohormone products left, actually. First, Helidrol. Second, Halodrol. And the third, Superdrol 7, the only chemical structures that do not fall within the Cornell legal definition of anabolic steroids. That's it. That's all we'd have left. My point is, well, it's twofold. First is, well, at least these Prohormones are still around. We get to use them. Not sure for how much longer. Second is FDA. If these products are really that dangerous, why have you not taken the opportunity to take all of them? I mean, you can, according to the law. And why is it taking you so long to get these 5 Prohormone products banned? And all of this is just a setup to put the idea in your mind that these 5 Prohormone products might lead us to somewhere crazy. They do. The most significant federal prosecution against any supplement company of all time. In 2017, the DOJ was livid. I think Jared maybe even grimaced. An 18-count superseding criminal indictment, including charges of conspiracy, wire fraud, money laundering, introduction of misbranded drugs into interstate commerce, and the manufacture and distribution of a controlled substance. Subsequently, a series of search warrants, which authorized the search of 6 business properties, all owned by Hi-Tech. But that was back in 2017. There's been no movement since, like none. Jared's just sitting on an 18-count indictment like it's nothing. Which brings us to today, the 2025 order. What happened? But shh, I don't think I'm supposed to have these documents.
My dudes. Now I do want you to finish this video, but I did just get an update.
It's an email. It's a Hi-Tech Pharmaceuticals email that basically says their entire direction moving forward. That link is below. Don't look at it yet though. Go Travis D for
10% off.
if you want to buy Prohormones and you want to support us. That's at totalnutritionhouston.com. It's a local shop if you don't want to buy from the big boys. Back to it. Now you would think that after all this, 18 count indictment, $40 million potential bill, that you might say, well, Prohormones, they ain't worth it. I'm out of here. Or at least deter you in the very least. But that's me. Maybe it's you, but it's certainly not Jared Wheat. He's going to continue. He's going to keep selling them like nothing's going on. Until February 7th of 2025. The court would cite, in reference to the 2017 seizure and the 18 count criminal indictment, it is obvious that Mr. Wheat must stop engaging in conduct for which he has now twice been federally indicted. Accordingly, I will grant the government's request to modify the conditions of his release to include a prohibition on Mr. Wheat manufacturing or distributing these 5 products. So they did ban them, to be very clear. But unlike DMAA and ephedra that were both recalled, these weren't. The court citing that there was no corresponding findings specifically regarding dangerousness, which maybe the courts are just implying that they don't think it's that dangerous. So what exactly does all this mean for the future of prohormones? Spoiler alert, in 2026, everything's going to change. If Jared's sole purpose in life is to go after the government while mostly avoiding jail time, then he's winning. But just to be clear, this is only the major cases that happened during this time. It doesn't include the hundreds of others that happened as well. So I don't know how I feel about Hi-Tech at this point. Like, I don't know whether to be shocked or impressed or scared. But what we do know on the other side is the FDA. Here we go again. Tell me, how is it that you're okay with Adderall drug dealers who are wearing white coats, dispensing out Adderall faster than a freaking spring-loaded Pez dispenser, yet somehow on the other side, ephedra, which is a fourth as strong as DMAA, and infinitely weaker than Adderall, was somehow banned? I don't know. It sounds to me like there's something deeper going on here, a deeper agenda that we're not aware of. Something beyond public health has to be. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Seems fishy. So realistically, how much longer can Hi-Tech really continue to do this? Will they be able to hold this out? Well, that all depends on how long Hi-Tech can continue to do this. They've been at it for years, since 2004. But with a looming 18 count indictment and a $40 million compensatory sanctions just sitting there, it's tough to think that the clock at least isn't winding down. But this is Jared Wheat we're talking about here. So actually, last week, decided I was going to call Hi-Tech and I just asked them, hey, where's Superdrol at? I don't see it on your website. And they said, oh, don't worry about it. It'll be returning shortly. And then they tell this guy that it'll be back in 2 weeks. And a community member, Garrett, I deeply appreciate you. Thanks for all your research. He got the corporate response.
I was just wondering, we've heard multiple things from different people in the industry, and I figured I would call and try to get it from the source.
Yeah, as of right now, they're on back order. They're not discontinued, but we don't have an ETA when the product will be available.
Back ordered? Really? You can be shifty all you want. We know you got a plan. And it's probably got nothing to do with the FDA or taking down the government either. You're preparing for war. Capitalistic war. Because on April 26th, 2026, the day of reckoning is upon us. Hi-Tech will no longer be able to sue any companies selling anything under their patents because the patents expire. Expiring, like every other patent, 20 years after the original date the patent was filed. 4 Andro, 1 Andro, all prohormones will be now open for free market. Now this could go one of 2 ways. It could either be the golden era of prohormones, because the patents are expiring, any new company could come in now and create their own product line, and more supply equals cheaper for the consumer, quality tested and approved potentially by someone who may know prohormones. So we'll be looking at those products as or if they come out. Not to mention that the government spending right now due to the political climate is lower than normal. So Hi-Tech and some new entrants may not really have much resistance there. Well, on the other hand, the FDA and DOJ could do exactly what they did with DMAA and ephedra, which is just to ban it outright altogether. Now, that wouldn't be too cool. Oh, going to hell. But let's be real here. With 1 AD and now 1 testosterone, quite arguably the 2 best 1 andros, now off the market, banned, you're probably confused and wondering what's a good 1 andro now. That was my test base. Chosen one. My recommendation, one that I've always gone to. 1 testosterone is technically better, but this will do. Also, Equibolin, people don't use that one. That's a 1,4 andro. That is banned now. Equipoise, though, is still on the market, so have fun with it. My brother, I love you. Until next week, stay safe and stay swole, my brothers.